Donald Trump is reportedly furious and pushing hard for a major shakeup of the upcoming midterm elections, and he wants it done right now. After taking a close look at the latest midterm polling numbers, Trump's knee-jerk reaction, whether it involves throwing literal or metaphorical tantrums, is to demand immediate changes to voting rules before Americans get the chance to vote his allies out of office in November. This has become his textbook playbook whenever defeat looms: attack the election infrastructure well in advance, tighten voting restrictions, and lay the groundwork to declare the final results illegitimate if things don't go his way. Right now, Trump is publicly twisting the arm of Senate Majority Leader John Thune, demanding laws that mandate proof of citizenship, strict voter IDs, and a near-total ban on mail-in voting. Ironically, a method Trump himself uses regularly. They've packaged this disastrous scheme under the catchy title, the Save America Act. It's a classic political playbook move: give a deeply destructive policy a wholesome name, much like the Patriot Act, but instead of Saving America, a more accurate title would be the Destroy America Act. Let's be clear, U.S. citizenship is already legally required to vote, and widespread non-citizen voting is largely an imaginary crisis. Yet, this proposed act targets this phantom problem by throwing up massive roadblocks for legitimate voters. It demands documentary proof of citizenship just to register, imposes heavy-handed ID mandates, and practically eliminates mail-in ballots. To sweeten the deal, House Republicans have proposed offering $10 billion in federal grants to any state willing to adopt these restrictive voting measures themselves. In short, they are trying to pay states to make voting harder. Trump's campaign spokesperson, Leavitt, claims his patience is running thin and that he wants this pushed through before Congress breaks for its August recess. The urgency stems straight from a brand new Fox News poll showing Democrats leading the generic House ballot 53% to 46%, the highest percentage either party has seen in Fox polling since 1996. Democrats are also leading on the economy by 9 points and have even pulled ahead on immigration. Trump knows these numbers spell political disaster, which is why he's scrambling for a solution. However, his supposed fix has two massive flaws. First, Senate Republicans simply do not have the 50 votes needed to pass this. Even Senate Leader John Thune has admitted they lack the numbers. Plus, these restrictions might not even qualify for the budget reconciliation process. Slapping a state grant label on voter suppression doesn't magically turn election laws into budget policy, meaning they couldn't pass it with a simple majority anyway. Second, this strategy could easily backfire and suppress Republican voters too. Roughly 12% of registered voters lack the exact required documents. Think of married women whose birth certificates feature different last names, rural voters who might have to drive hours just to present physical documents, or older Americans and military families in states like Florida who rely heavily on mail-in ballots, many of whom lean Republican. The logic seems to be, we have a bunch of arrows, and while some might hit our own people, we're betting they'll hit more of yours. Interestingly, if voting restrictions and the courts truly had no impact, Republicans wouldn't be fighting this hard to weaken the system. That is the real emergency here. While demanding that Congress pass a bad law isn't a crime in itself, the real danger is Trump setting up his built-in excuse for the aftermath. If the Save America bill fails and Republicans lose in November, Trump can simply claim, "I warned you the election was rigged, and Congress refused to protect it." That narrative will inevitably pave the way for lawsuits, intense pressure on local election officials, challenges to certification, and perhaps even demands for law enforcement, like ICE, to station themselves near polling places. Will these tactics succeed? Probably not, since elections are state-run and presidents can't just cancel them. But as 2020 taught us, an authoritarian scheme can fail and still cause massive amounts of institutional damage. Trump isn't acting like a confident leader backed by the voters, he's acting like someone who has seen the writing on the wall and wants to rig the game before the verdict is officially delivered. So, what should everyday citizens do to prepare? First and foremost, verify your voter registration status and confirm your polling place well ahead of time. Don't wait until election season is hectic. Know what is on your local ballot, including referenda or local measures, so you aren't caught off guard. Figure out your precise logistics, track your mail-in ballot if that's your method, and thoroughly understand your state's specific ID rules. You want to make sure you know the exact requirements so that if any bad actors or political provocateurs try to misinform you outside a polling station, you won't fall for their tricks and turn back home. Knowledge is your absolute best defense, and resources like vote.org can help you stay informed. When it comes to long-term activism, the fight is definitely harder and requires more dedication. Legal experts like Mark Elias and various advocacy groups are working tirelessly behind the scenes to protect our elections, but you can also get involved directly at the local level. Step up, learn how to become a trained poll monitor in your municipality, and be the person on the ground ensuring that nobody messes with the integrity of the vote. We have the tools to push back. Let's make sure we use them. Thanks for watching.